iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the show. Tonight we got the BG Graphix late model stocks here at the new Smyrna Speedway. Tonight we'll see our normal short track racing action here from the 802 iRacing League. That being, of course, qualifying coming up here right now. And then, of course, our heat race here tonight. A little light on cars, so we'll have one heat race with the top four inverted, and then from that we will have, of course, the main 50-lap race here down in the Florida State. We got Sunshine State, New Smyrna Speedway, as we get cars out on the speedway here. First car we got rolling on the backstretch, that is the number 30 machine of Larry Murphy. Larry Murphy coming off at turn number 4. He's on the clock here, folks. Murphy not having the luck he's wanted these last couple weeks. Hoping to change it here tonight. And I think we'll see that 30 machine up towards the front. We'll see if he can stay on up there. It's lap number 1. Larry Murphy will throw down an 18.51. We got most everyone else out on the speedway. That being Logan Powers, Jake Grout, Johnny Barker, and Brandon Guerin. All out on the speedway at the moment. As off at turn number 4 for the final time here. Murphy will not improve on that time as other times coming on in. The other car on the speedway right now, quick time. That's a 31 machine. Mr. Powers, Logan Powers, and is on the clock here for lap number 2, but lap number 1 good enough for a quick time. We'll see if anyone can beat him, as that will do it here. Now we'll head to the 49 machine of Jake Grout. We'll see what Grout can do as he goes on the clock here. I think lap number 1 may not have counted. I think he might have got a piece of the wall, so we'll see what he can do on his only time lap here, folks. Off of turn number 4, Jake Grout keeps it way off the wall just in case. Grout will go P number 2 here with an 18.4. Now we head to our points leader. That is the 66 machine. He's on the clock. It is Steven Rockford. Rockford big time loose in 1 and 2. He's chasing the car all off the corner and down the backstretch. So lap number 1 will not be the best. He's going to throw it away and give it all she's got here on lap number 2. As Rockford a lot better there in 1 and 2. We'll see what he can do here in 3 and 4 for his final lap as lap number 1 he threw away. This will be the money lap for Rockford off of turn number 4. The 66 car will go to P number 2 with an 18.39, but hand the reins over to Logan Powers. Another quick time award for the number 31 machine. Logan Powers is tonight's quick time. As we now wait around, see if we get any last minute drivers. But right now, 6 cars on the premise here tonight, as we will run through the full length of qualifying. So we're going to go over some race information from the new Smyrna Speedway. That's, of course, a half mile. This track a little tricky. You know, you don't run all the way against the bottom. You go up for that extra banking. So we'll see cars probably running 1 car length off the bottom. And then the front stretch, that wall curves towards that inside as the further it goes down along the straightaway. So these drivers going to have to keep that in mind, especially side-by-side racing for this tricky half mile. Be sure to check out more information about this league on the Facebook. That is with the 802 iRacing tag. And of course, we got to thank all the sponsors coming out here and making this series happen. Of course, our title sponsor, BG Graphix. That is, of course, all over that number 4 machine out of the Woods Crafts for the biggest mover of these races. Got to give a huge shout out to them. And the sounds, the sights, and the smell of the sea brought to you by the Riptide Radio. And, of course, the Sim Racing Podcast with Greg Driass. Be sure to check that out to keep all up to date, especially with this 802 league. Greg does a great job with that podcast, and it's always worth tuning on into if you got some time. As we get ready now to head over to the end of qualifying here, Logan Powers is going to be quick time. He will start 4th in the heat race with the invert. And then from the heat race, we will have a full field invert when it comes around to feature time, folks. So that's going to be interesting. We'll see if we can go flag to flag here tonight with this smaller car count here tonight, as we get ready now to head over to our heat race here for 10 laps around the new Smyrna Speedway. So, heat race number 1, and the only heat race here tonight, will look like the following. Larry Murphy in the number 30 machine puts it on the pole. He'll start on the pole with the invert. Starting to his outside is the flying number 49 machine of Jake Grout. Row number 2 looking like the following. Stephen Rockford in the 66R points leader, with Logan Powers quick time starting to his outside. The final row here tonight will be made up of Johnny Barker in the number 6, with Brandon Guerin in the number 4 starting in P number 6. As we get the field rolling out on the speedway here, and we'll get ready to go green flag racing here in a lap and a half, folks. Alrighty, folks, these drivers getting ready to rock and roll. This time by, they'll see the 1 to go. So next time by, we'll be going green flag racing for 10 laps here in the heat race here tonight at the new Smyrna Speedway. As Larry Murphy and that number 30 Black Rifle Coffee Company machine will lead us to the green flag here tonight. He's got some fast cars, though, right on around him here, right at the start. We'll see how this shakes off of turn number 4. Larry Murphy on the loud pedal. We go green flag racing here for the heat race at New Smyrna. Side by side, the field will dive it down into turn number 1. Jake Grout kind of has a preferred line. They door bag down the back straightaway as Larry Murphy tries to get as much real estate as he can on that kind of not so preferred inside line. They say side by side here for lap number 1. 2 rows deep, as behind him Rockford and Logan Powers stay side by side. Larry Murphy will get clear of that number 49 machine down by the backstretch, so Larry Murphy out by himself up front. Now Steven Rockford trying to fill the hole, and one car goes around. That is Larry Murphy with a hard hit, and one car up on his lid. He will end on all fours. That is Jake Grout, and we somehow stayed green flag as Larry Murphy was involved, but that hands the race lead over to Steven Rockford. So Rockford out with a comfortable lead. Now Brandon Guerin goes from that sixth starting position all the way up to second. Johnny Barker now slots into the third position with that damage, and you'll see bring that thing pit side as that thing is heavily damaged as Rockford continues to lead the way. As we got to take a look here, see what happened to that number 30 machine that somehow did not bring out a yellow flag. I don't know how that happened, folks, but we got to take a look here. Larry Murphy by himself here going into corner entry, but it looks like the 49 machine of Jake Grout tries to get a run, and Murphy just gets tagged. I think Grout mistimed his nose there, and everyone trying to make evasive maneuvers just quite not enough. As we go back live here, looks like Logan Powers will take over the third position, as we pretty much have 4 cars running out on the speedway at the moment, and actually make it 5, as Grout is also still out there. So Steven Rockford, second quickest in qualifying, now going to find himself with a hefty amount of points here in the heat race to increase that points lead. As that time by, we will see 3 laps to go here at the new Smyrna Speedway. This time by at the start finish line, popsicle sticks up in the air, 2 laps to go for a pretty hectic heat race here. We'll see what these drivers have by the time they get ready for this 50 lappers. Rockford, big time out of shape. He's trying to see what this car has as he pushes it as hard as he can, but off of turn number 4, Rockford in the 66 machine. We'll see the white flag here. So Rockford leads away. Brandon Guerin in second. Logan Powers rounding out the top 3. Jake Grout will ride around in the 4th position. Johnny Barker in 5th. Larry Murphy out of this race, but off of turn number 4, Steven Rockford adds another notch to the lipstick case with a heat win. He'll pick up another heat win in the series and get some more points as we get ready now to head over to our feature event. This one tonight, folks, gonna be very quick as we see Logan Powers just coasting that thing to the start finish line to come home in that P number 3 spot. So that would do it for the heat race as we now get ready for the full field invert here for our feature event. As we get ready now, we saw 10 laps fly on by. We'll get ready to do another flying 50 laps here tonight. So we'll start at the back and make our way to the front. Our heat race winner, Steven Rockford, will start in the P number 6 position. He'll start reverse finishing order from the heat race. Starting in P number 5 will be the 4 of Brandon Guerin. Now we head to the next row up in front. Logan Powers in the 31 machine will start in the P number 4 slot. Johnny Barker will start P number 3. Jake Grout will start outside front row in that 49 machine. And Larry Murphy, once again, will be leading the field to green. He's hoping not for a repeat of that heat race. And as you can tell, a pretty similar top 4, as Larry Murphy leading us to green. Jake Grout starting on his outside. Johnny Barker, only one changing up this top 4, with then Logan Powers once again restarting in that 4th position. Looks like maybe the 4 machine of Brandon Guerin not making the call for this feature event, so looks like he may be having some issues with getting that car out here for the main event. So hopefully we'll see him back on out here before this is on over, as it is the wave lap here, folks, for these drivers. Get up on your feet, give your favorite driver a wave, because next time by, these 5 drivers gonna do battle here for tonight's 50 lapper. Looks like Brandon Guerin is out on pit road, so that Ford machine will start from pit side. He's going to hope for a yellow at some point tonight, but we'll have to wait and see if we do get one with this car count. But the front two hoping not for a repeat as what we saw in the heat race. These two going to have to mind their P's and Q's and get ready because we're about to go green off of turn number 4. The fuel will come. Larry Murphy on the loud pedal. We go green flag racing here at New Smyrna Speedway. The front two will dive it down. Jake Grout a little bit of advantage, but Larry Murphy having the shorter way around the speedway. But Jake Grout with the big run off of turn number 2. He will take over the race lead here on lap number 1. He will lead lap number 1 as well. Larry Murphy slots into second. Logan Powers still trying to work over the top side of Johnny Barker as they get ever so close. Now Powers to the top side of Larry Murphy. They go side by side here for P number 2. Powers was quick time, got involved in that incident in the heat race, so he's going to now try and chase down our race leader, the 49 machine of Jake Grout. Stephen Rockford already up 2 positions from where he started. He's finding himself in P number 4 at the moment. Front two running very similar times, both with 18.3s now that time by. Logan Powers about half of a tenth quicker though, so Powers trying to reel in the gap for sure, not let Jake Grout get away from him and put that thing in cruise control if he can help it. Larry Murphy still trying to hang on to that 3rd position. Now Stephen Rockford looking to the inside and almost contact there for P number 3 as Rockford sniffing that left rear of that 30 machine. We ride on board now with Larry Murphy looking back at the drivers behind him here as Rockford still putting on the pressure on the back bumper of this number 30 machine. Now Rockford will look down to the inside, down the backstretch, but won't have the run to make a move with it just quite this lap. As Rockford now looks high but can't get the run here. It is all over the back bumper here of that number 30 machine as we now ride on board with Stephen Rockford here. We ride on board with our 4th place driver. That is the 66 of Rockford as he has got some pressure though behind him of the number 6 machine of Johnny Barker. You can see Rockford sawing on this wheel here tonight. He's trying to work that car as well as he can and definitely on the loud pedal as quickly as he can as Larry Murphy getting into a rhythm here and hold off this 66 machine for that 3rd position. So already 10 laps in, so that was our heat race distance already flying on by here tonight, folks, as we are a 5th of the way down here as Rockford still all over the back bumper. Larry Murphy, he's waiting for that 30 machine to make a mistake, but so far Larry Murphy has hit his marks as now Rockford with the run. He'll look to the inside heading into turn number 1. Battle for second and contact between the two of them, and Rockford goes around, hard left side hit to that car, and he will stop on the track. Our points leader not having the night he wanted it. That rear end very beat up for Stephen Rockford as we'll bring out the yellow flag here, and you see that left rear very much broken on that car. That thing is pointed right to the right rear, so Rockford will come down pit road, I would have to guess. As we take a look here at as we try and take a look here, see what happened between the two of them. We'll take a look here as it was the battle for that 3rd position as Rockford does make contact with Larry Murphy in the middle, and then Murphy trying to time maybe the crossover, just mistimes it. That car kind of getting loose, then gripping back up and just getting that right rear of that car in a heavy hit to that left side of Stephen Rockford. Luckily, he seems all right. Will be down on pit road this time by and get that car repaired and use his one and only fast repair here early, as we are under our first yellow flag here of the night here at the new Smyrna Speedway. So Jake Grout leading all the laps so far. Now Logan Powers will be right on the back bumper of Grout. Murphy hanging on to third. Johnny Barker fourth, and Brandon Guerin is out on the speedway in this number 4 machine. He does find himself, though, a handful of laps down, and I don't think he will get any wave around, so he might be stuck those few laps down by the end of this one. Now, if I'm Jake Grout, I'm definitely picking this outside lane to restart in for tonight's race. That will put Powers down low, and then Jake Grout just has to be aggressive on these restarts to make sure that he doesn't allow Powers to make some sort of move heading into turn number 1. So this time by, folks, we'll see the lights get extinguished around the new Smyrna Speedway. Looks like Jake Grout does, in fact, take this outside lane. That moves Logan Powers down low, and the rest of the field will re-rack, restack, and double file them on up. We'll have to see what kind of restart Logan Powers can get on this inside lane as Jake Grout has control of this restart. The iRacing pace truck heads down pit road. Grout wasted no time to jump on the loud pedal. He gets on early, gets away with a great start. About a 3-car length advantage as the field dives down into turn number 1. So Logan Powers will slide in second. Now Johnny Barker to the outside of Larry Murphy. This is the battle here for P number 3, as Murphy will send it in there deep, try to make it stick, and he will clear Barker off at turn number 4. So Larry Murphy will defend that position as Barker slides into P number 4, and Stephen Rockford right there on the back bumper as well. As Brandon Guerin does get a lap back, so he finds himself only 1 lap down here at the moment. He's going to hope for one more yellow before tonight's over to get back on the lead lap and see him get the result that he needs if he ends up passing cars. They do not count here at the moment because he is still a lap down. As we take a look here at these battles, Barker with a little bit of bobble off of turn number 4. That almost opens up the door for Stephen Rockford, as Rockford just wasn't close enough to make a move on that 6 machine. Barker very loose off these corners at the moment. That right rear definitely hot on that Havoline number 6 machine. As Brandon Guerin trying to get in the mix here. He says that may be a lap down, but this 4 car is pretty fast. He's looking to the inside of Stephen Rockford here, but Rockford with the run, he'll be able to clear him. Up front, Logan Powers closing back in for the race lead, now within 0.2 of a second to Jake Grout. So we might have a race here on our hands for the race lead just before the halfway mark here in tonight's race number 6 of the BG Graphix late model stocks for the 802 iRacing League. Jake Grout doing everything he can. He knows he has to keep the mistakes to a minimum here and not let Logan Powers get to that outside of that 49 machine. As we look back here, Stephen Rockford once again all over the back bumper of Johnny Barker here for that 4th position. We're going to go jump on board with Larry Murphy looking back at the cars battling behind him here. We're riding on board with our P number 3 driver, looking to see what Rockford and Barker can do behind him. One car loose down the backstretch. That's the number 4 machine of Brandon Guerin. Now 1 car loose off at turn number 4. That is Johnny Barker. He will spin it on out, and that will bring out the yellow flag here tonight, folks, for the 2nd time here, as the yellow cloth will fall Johnny Barker spinning off at turn number 4. He's trying to get a little bit too much, I believe, of that machine. I don't think Steven Rockford got in the back of him. And that's a break Brandon Guerre needed, as he should be back on the lead lap here, folks. We'll see here off at turn number 4. And yeah, it looks like Barker just getting on the throttle a little bit too early. That car going on around, and he does make a little bit of contact with that inside wall with that right rear quarter panel. So won't be enough damage to probably bring it down on pit road, but you can see a little bit crinkle to that right rear quarter panel as these drivers under yellow flag here for the second time here tonight. Jake Grout out in front, leading all 21 laps here so far tonight as he tries to go flag to flag, but he has a very fast Logan Powers behind him. As folks, we'll be right back after commercial break. We're going to go to commercial break under this yellow. We'll be back on the other side. Don't go anywhere, folks. Alrighty, folks, we come back here, back to the New Smyrna Speedway, as we are under our second yellow flag here tonight. Jake Grout out in front has led all 21 laps here, just before the halfway mark here in tonight's 50-lap main event. Last caution coming with the south spin from the number 6 machine. Luckily, no other cars involved, as the lights do get extinguished around the speedway here. So next time by, we'll be going green flag racing as Jake Grout once again takes that outside lane, and we'll have to see when he decides to go, as last time he went very early. We'll see if he mixes it up or does the exact same, because it worked out very well for him last time. Through 3 and 4, the field will come. The iRacing pace truck heads off pit road. Jake Grout jumps on the loud pedal. Contact with Logan Powers at the start there. They door bang and now dive it down into turn number 1. Powers a lot better of a restart there. He will stay right on the back bumper for the race lead. Now Rockford to the outside of Larry Murphy. That is the battle for P number 3 at the moment. Rockford in the preferred line. He has the momentum up top. But Larry Murphy down low in the 30 has a shorter distance around the speedway. So best battle on the speedway right here for P number 3 at the moment. These two get into it a little for the first yellow of the night. We'll have to see how these two race it on out here, as Rockford gets a little bit of advantage by the time they lift in the corners, but Larry Murphy hanging on strong in that not preferred lane. That time down the backstretch, Rockford will clear him. So Steven Rockford up to P number 3 right now, biggest mover of the race. He's up 3 spots, so he's right now currently the winner of the Out of the Woods Crafts. We'll see if he can hang on to it here, as Jake Grout out in front leading the way over Logan Powers, who is right on his back bumper. And this time by, the field will see cross flags here, halfway down, halfway home in tonight's race number 6 at New Smyrna. Jake Grout working that car here. He was loose off the corner. That opens up the door for Logan Powers. So side-by-side battle for the race lead here at New Smyrna. As contact between the two of them, they definitely got close, and not sure if the 49 moved down or 31 moved up, but that is that wall creeping on down. But it definitely shouldn't have been that dramatic, as some pretty good contact there, as you see the damage to the right front of Logan Powers. So these two racing very hard. They know that they have to go if they get an opportunity here tonight, because these laps are flying on by. These drivers doing laps in 18.5 seconds or less. So laps absolutely flying on by, as now we'll see 22 to go. Has a little bit of room now between Jake Grout and Logan Powers. You gotta wonder how that damage is affecting that 31 machine. And maybe he's in tire saving mode for a little bit, but it doesn't seem like it. These drivers trying to drive the wheels off of these late model stocks here tonight at New Smyrna. Will now jump on board with the driver of the 31 machine, jump on the roof of Logan Powers, see what he's doing for a lap, and see where he is catching or losing our race leader. As you can see, that wall that kind of curves on in. It is pretty dramatic, especially when you're side-by-side racing here at New Smyrna. You see Logan Powers, who we're riding on board with, get every bit of real estate off of turn number 4. Jake Grout a lot higher line off of turn number 2. That time gets a piece of the wall, so that closes the gap ever so slightly here for the race lead here with 18 laps to go now. Everyone else stringing on out. Jake Grout leading the way. Logan Powers in second. Stephen Rockford currently in P number 3. Larry Murphy in the P number 4 spot here. Johnny Barker in 5th. And Brandon Guerin running out the field here. He still finds himself 1 lap down in that number 4 machine, so I think he will be stuck a lap down here tonight. As we go up for the race lead, Grout using all the real estate he can off of turn number 2. And Logan Powers using up all the real estate here at the New Smyrna Speedway off of turn number 4. As you can see, 2 different lines throughout these 2 corners here tonight for these front runners. And Stephen Rockford maybe turning up the wick now. Maybe he was saving his stuff a little bit, as he is starting to catch this battle for the race lead. So by the end of tonight, it might be a 3-car battle. As Jake Grout loose off of turn number 4. That makes the race lead gap to about a car length by the backstretch here. So car length between 1 and 2, about 2 car lengths between 2 and 3. So this race far from over here with 14 laps to go here at the start finish line. The top 3 now closing on up to one another. Logan Powers knows he has to go because he has a very fast 66 machine behind him. And Jake Grout trying to still drive the wheels off that 49 machine to stay out in front and pick up a race win. I don't believe Grout has won a race in this series. I have to double check my notes after the race, but I think it's all been Logan Powers or Stephen Rockford, as Grout trying to add his name to the winner list by the end of this one. He has to hang on though for 12 more laps as he gets a piece of the wall down the backstretch. That opens up the door for Logan Powers, so they are right on top of each other as Stephen Rockford trying to find any sort of opening. He's right on the back bumper of Logan Powers heading into turn number 1. Issues for the number 4 machine. He looks like he is off the pace, as I think he might have had some issues off of one of the corners. He gets that thing right in the right direction. No yellow flag as we see 10 laps to go. 2 open palms from the flagman that time by. So Jake Grout once again with a little bit of a gap to P number 2. He has to make sure no mistakes from him. He can't afford to hit that wall any more times, as he's got the advantage that he needs, as he's pulling away from P number 2 Logan Powers. So did Powers use up a little bit of his stuff a little too early, as he is falling back from Jake Grout here inside of 10 laps to go. Stephen Rockford still holding the pressure on the number 31 machine for P number 2. Rockford now right on the back bumper He's trying to see if Powers makes any sort of mistake. As one car in the wall, that is Brandon Guerin. It looks like Powers will get a piece of him. That opens up the door for Stephen Rockford for P number 2. Rockford will slide up in front of him. No, he won't. Logan Powers with the power up top. He will stay side by side here for P number 2 as these drivers duking it on out. Here as Logan Powers gets a big time shot of the wall. That will give up the spot for P number 2. And now he might fall in the clutches of Larry Murphy for P number 3. Murphy can smell blood as Powers gets loose off at turn number 2. That opens up the top side now for Larry Murphy as Murphy tries to find an opening. As they go side by side here, a little bit of contact in 3 and 4, but this is the battle for P number 3. So Larry Murphy up now into the podium as I think Logan Powers, that car is heavily damaged with those wall hits and with that contact with that lapper. As Powers' lap times way off the pace of what they used to be. He might fall the spot now to even Johnny Barker and fall out just into the top 5 here at the moment. But up in front, we will see 3 laps to go here for Jake Grout. He has the number 4 machine a lap down behind him, a little bit of a buffer to our second place driver, Stephen Rockford. So Jake Grout trying to pick up the win tonight. He's trying to go flag to flag. He's only got now at the start finish line. Popsicle sticks up in the air. 2 more laps to go. He has to make it around the circuit, and he will do just that. As Johnny Barker and Logan Powers trying to duke it out for P number 4. Barker trying to make that inside line work. We haven't seen too many passes, especially late in this race, work down low. We'll see what he can do here. As the field will see the white flag. 1 more lap to go as Johnny Barker looks to the inside of Logan Powers. This is the battle for P number 4 here at the moment. They will touch in the middle, 1 and 2, and it will be a drag race. But off of turn number 4, Jake Grout will win here for race number 6 at New Smyrna. He'll pick up the win. Stephen Rockford in second, Larry Murphy third, and off the corner they make contact here to the start finish line. Johnny Barker will steal P number 4 away from Logan Powers as they make heavy contact off of turn number 4. Not sure what happened there, but we go to the front stretch for our race winner. That is Jake Grout, going to burn it down here in the number 49 machine on the front stretch of New Smyrna for the BG Graphix late model stocks here for race number 6. So Jake Grout will now park it down in victory lane here in the front stretch. We're going to go to commercial break. On the other side, we will be back with the Sim Racing Podcast post-race show. So don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back. Alrighty, folks, we head now to the front stretch and talk to our third place driver, that being the number 30 machine of Larry Murphy. Larry, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, what's going on, Brett?
Oh man, that seemed like a pretty hectic race. Only 6 cars, but the action was there, especially late in that run. Tell us a little bit about your race, Larry, and how this car felt tonight at the New Smyrna Speedway.
The heat race was pretty eventful. Me and Jake were having a pretty good battle, and I was coming off the corner, and he was gassing up at the same time. We just met. It was just a racing deal, but the feature, them guys fired off way better than I did. It took a little while for my car to come in, and there at the end, man, I felt like if we got another caution, I mean, I was catching them So I wish we could have had another caution, but Jake and Steven and Logan they were way faster than I was, and it came on late, but it was too late.
Yeah, I was going to say that long run speed looked very good in that number 30 machine. And yeah, like you said, if only you had a late race yellow maybe to mix things on up, because it seemed like you were coming to the front there in a hurry, just ran out of time.
Yeah, it definitely came on late. I don't know. Maybe I was driving a little different, but I tried to loosen it up with some brake bias, and it helped a lot, man. I just got some things figured out during the race, seeing what they were doing and what I was doing, and uh, it was just too late. I hate it for Logan, man. He got the outside wall pretty good a couple times, and I wish we had all of our regular guys here so we could have had a bigger field, but it was definitely a good race.
Yeah, it was a good race, even with the light car count. You guys still put on a lot of action. And Larry, you started on the pole both races tonight. I mean, you had to learn hopefully a little bit about from that first heat race, even though it was cut a little short for you.
Yeah, I was just trying to give him room, man. That's my biggest thing is I don't like running over nobody, and some of these guys just they're so much faster on short run stuff that they forget that there's a long run here, and they like to run people over. And I just don't run that way, so I try to give them some room. And they got past me. I figured I'd run them back down, and it just took longer than I thought.
Yeah, and this race flying on by tonight, these 50 laps going by in a hurry. And Larry, you come away on the podium, you get to talk to me, you get a pretty good result here tonight, and I'm sure you gotta be walking away pretty happy with it, a result that this 30 car probably needed after having some tough luck in the weeks coming up to tonight.
Oh yeah, man, that's the thing. Just been some bad luck, and like I said, I wish we had a lot more cars like we usually do. But it's nice walking away from one of these deals, not with a tore up race car.
Yeah, that's always a good thing. Can load it up and bring it back in the box for, of course, next week at the Myrtle Beach Speedway. So, Larry, before we let you go and celebrate your podium third place here tonight, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank to make this 30 machine as quick as it was here tonight.
Yeah, I just gotta thank my family for watching. Brandon and Jason are my teammates. They help out, just some information and bouncing ideas off of each other. And got to thank Rob and all the admins and Brandon with BG Graphics for putting this on, and his family helped sponsor Sim Racing Podcast with Greg, and Riptide Radio with Jeff Barefoot, Out of the Woods Woodcraft with just helping out, making this series possible. Like I said, I wish we had more people here tonight. It sucks only having 6 cars, but next week's Five Flags. That's my home track, so I plan on doing everything humanly possible to take that win home. I'm not going to lay over for anybody. So next week's definitely my race.
There you go. Yeah, you're right. We actually go to Five Flags, staying in the Florida state here next week. So glad you didn't head to Myrtle Beach and I lead you astray. So, Larry, once again, huge congratulations. Glad to finally be talking to you here in the post race. Hopefully you keep this momentum going, as yeah, you sound pretty confident for Five Flags. So look forward to seeing you there.
All right, bro. Have a good night.
All righty, you as well. That was our third place finisher, Larry Murphy. Now we head to our Out of the Woods Crafts biggest mover of the night. That is the number 2 machine. Excuse me, P number 2, the 66 machine. Our points leader, Stephen Rockford. Stephen, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Hey, Brett, I got you.
All righty, Stephen. So the hot streak continues. 6 weeks in a row, you're talking to me at the end of these races. Stephen, how was that car here tonight? And it seemed like that thing had some speed towards the end, just ran out of time.
Yeah, I got into some incidents early. Just super tough to initiate a pass here. Once you get next to them, you can kind of race your way by them, but just either getting to their outside or their inside tonight was just super hard. So restarts were really the only time I could pass. So I kind of was just riding for a majority of it, waiting for either the 30 or the 6 to slip up so I could, get by them and get myself into at least third place so I could go after the leaders. And got kind of tangled up with a 30 there. Not really sure what happened. Probably just a racing deal. It is what it is. And had to start in the rear again, worked my way by them, and went after the leaders. I felt like I had better tires than Logan near the end, so I kind of put the pressure to him. Unfortunately, he was running the high line where he loves it, and went a little bit too high and put himself in the wall there. So I think if we had a restart, I might have had something for Jake, but unfortunately just didn't have time, and that's kind of how these things unfold sometimes.
Yeah, definitely, especially with these 50 lappers, these races, if they go green, they finish up in a hurry. I mean, tonight felt very quick, and I'm sure it did in the car. Probably not as quick in the car as, definitely some stressful laps there towards the end, but tonight walking home with P number 2, you already come into tonight with a pretty hefty points lead, and of course, extending that some more with second quick qualifying, heat win, and you finish runner-up here tonight.
Yeah, like I said, it was a pretty decent night. I really think that I had something for Jake. I would have liked to see the restart, see a late race restart. That would have been some fun. I know that he races pretty tight and he's pretty what's the word I'm looking for? Sporadic up front. So it would have been fun to race it out. But happy with P2. Happy with the points and pretty decent night. Hopefully there's a couple more cars next week.
Yeah, hopefully. And of course, you're walking away once again another week with the Out of the Woods Crafts biggest mover. You move up 4 positions from the full field invert here tonight to finish runner up. So always a great award there as you show off once again the passing skills of the 66 machine.
Yeah, that's just qualifying's key there. Just starting as far out back as I can. I feel like I'm pretty decent at getting through the field without much carnage, so it just seems to be working out for me.
Yeah, that it does, Steven. So like I said, we've been talking to you a lot this season. You've been nailing these interviews. I mean, a lot of experience, and that's the key to winning championships, being consistent, and you are Mr. Consistent here in this series. So, Steven, before we let you go, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank for the 66 crew.
Yeah, as always, just thank the series sponsors, BG Graphix, Out of the Woodcrafts, Riptide Radio, and the Sim Racing Podcast. Thank you guys for sponsoring it. Old Brett the Jet in the booth. And got to thank Delphia's Dogs. Come to think of it, maybe that's where everyone is tonight. Maybe they're just down in Waterbury getting themselves a nice Delphia dog. So, thanks everyone that helps out. Got to thank the Vermont Race Team. Thank you.
Yeah, I was going to say, a great night to get some Delphia dogs. I tell you what, it's pretty nice here, and I hope it is on the East Coast as well, because I assume that's where everyone's at. So, Steven, you have yourself a great rest of the night. Keep up this hot streak, though, as next week we head down, staying in Florida, to the Five Flags Speedway.
Looking forward to it.
Alrighty, folks, that is our runner-up finisher, Steven Rockford, once again up on the podium. And now I hear the sights, the sounds, and the smell of the sea. It is the Riptide Radio. We got to give them a huge shout out, coming on board with the sponsorship of the series, as they do a lot for this league, keeping people showing on up. So got to give a huge shout out to them, as now we head down to Victory Lane to talk to the driver of the hour. He's picking up his first win of the season. That is Jake Grout in the number 49 machine. We will get him in the booth now, down from Victory Lane. Jake, you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet here in the booth.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, Jake. You knocked the monkey off your back. You pick up your first win of the season. Tell me, how does that feel?
I mean, it feels good, but it's not the race I wanted to do it at. I wanted to do it a full field, but I mean, I'll take it for sure. But...
Yeah, definitely a bummer with the car count, but I mean, you had to drive the wheels off this 49 machine for all 50 laps. You go flag to flag, but you had a lot of pressure on your back bumper from that 31 machine, excuse me. I mean, that had to be a stressful 50 lapper.
Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, I feel bad for Logan for sure, not being able to finish the race, but I'm just thankful to my car for holding up through all the times I put it in the wall. definitely was a little stressful, and I know the right front was very destroyed. I could not turn about halfway through the race, but
Yeah, it seemed like from the drop of the green flag, Jake, you were on the loud pedal, just putting in flyer lap after flyer lap. And yeah, your line a lot different than Logan Powers for a lot of the race. You were a lot closer to that wall off at turn number 2 and a few times getting a piece of it, but luckily not anything big to open up the door.
yeah, it definitely was scary. I have a lot of laps at this track, and I know where the line is the best. I definitely think it showed today, but
Yeah, that it definitely Jake. I mean, you put it out right where you needed to, as Logan Powers couldn't get around you there without a big mistake. And of course, you're on the money here tonight. Did not make any sort of big mistakes to open up the door, and you walk away with the win. So next week we stay in the Florida State. Go to Five Flags. How do you feel about that place?
I'm pretty excited for that place. I have a lot of success there on iRacing. Got a couple of the Winter Derby wins when they were there. So I do know my way around that place. I was like over 1,200 laps in just a week there. So pretty excited. Hopefully we get a bigger field. So that way we have a little bit more competition. But
Yep, hopefully, as Jake. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of laps there in a short amount of time. So you'll definitely be probably one of the cars up near the front here once again. But tonight, it's all about you. You park it down in victory lane. Awesome job from you to pick up a series win with the BG Graphix Late Model Stock Series. And before I let you go and continue partying down in victory lane, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank for this 49 machine down in victory lane here tonight.
yeah, I gotta thank Out of the Wood Crafts, BG Graphics, you up in the booth, obviously. Riptide Radio, Sim Racing Podcast, Rob and everybody for putting the thing on. Clark Builders, White's Heating, JNS Sales and Service, RKM Setup Shop and Ryan Kuhn over there. Casey Beatty, as always. The Vermont Sim team, and you know, Steven and Logan over there for helping me throughout the race, and yeah.
Alrighty, well, awesome job, Jake. Congrats once again on the big win here tonight at New Smyrna for race number 6. That is definitely awesome to see you get the monkey off your back, park down to victory lane, and of course, you showed it throughout the season, but now get the result that you deserve. Jake, you have yourself a great rest of the night, and we look forward to seeing you at the Five Flag Speedway next week.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
Alrighty, folks, that is Jake Grout down in victory lane, getting the job done here. As this will wrap up, we'll start wrapping up our Sim Racing Podcast post-race show with going through the results and all that fun stuff here, folks. As we head now down to the results here from race number 6. Jake Grout in the 49 machine picks up the win. Stephen Rockford, the Out of the Woods Crafts biggest mover of the race. Larry Murphy in the 30 machine will round out the podium. Johnny Barker in the 6 will finish 4th. Logan Powers, not the result he wanted. He will finish in 5th. And Brandon Guerin in the number 4 machine rounds out the field tonight. So got to give a huge shout out to the 802 iRacing League putting this on. Of course, the BG Graphics coming on with the title sponsor here for these late model stocks. Out of the Woods Crafts, Riptide Radio, and the Sim Racing Podcast. Thanks again to all the live viewers tuning on in tonight, all the replay viewers, the drivers spending your Thursday night with us. Really do appreciate it. Hopefully we get some more here for next week. I've been Brett the Jet in the booth from the Turn 3 Racing Network. Be sure to tune in to Turn 3 throughout the week as we got a lot of great racing, a lot of great series, and of course, some of the best broadcasters out there. Everyone, take care, have a great one, and we will catch you next Thursday. I've been Brett the Jet here in the booth from New Smyrna.